Hello everyone, my name is Sarah. Welcome to today's session for the Modern Workplace track. Today we are going to be talking about licenses. We are going to talk about how to identify licensing options as an IT administrator, as a consultant. What are the basic things you should know about licensing, Microsoft 365 licenses. We are going to talk about the support offerings, how you can reach out to Microsoft if you have any issues. Also, we're also going to talk about service life cycle in Microsoft 365. Communities you need to know about Microsoft 365, roadmaps you need to know about Microsoft 365. And finally, we're going to have our little knowledge check where you guys will just have to drop the answers in the chat box. So we're going to start with identifying licensing options available in Office 365. So now we have two major Office 365 licensing options. We have for home, we have for organizations. Now for home, we have, I think it's the best for me just to pull up the table. Give me a second. Yeah. So yes, so for home, we have just two. Yes, just two. The personal one, that's just for you and you alone. For one person, you have 1 TB of storage. Then you have for family, for 2 to 6 people. So, you don't need all those business functionality. It's just only you and your family that want to have like your own Office 365. And it's around 99 euros per year. Oh my God, I don't know why it is in euros. But we have it's like 99 euros per year. And for personal, it's around 69 euros per year, just for you and you alone. So, for instance, you want to have more access to storage. Your normal Microsoft account is not going to give you that. You need to buy like 1 TB worth of storage. I think your normal account without paying is like 5 gig, which is very, very small for a OneDrive. So if you are someone that wants to store stuff in the cloud, you don't want to use your office or your business account for that. Nobody does that because you can leave the company at any time. Um, this is what you recommend to your client or your customer, like, oh, okay, since it's just a family thing, you guys can do the family, you can do the family plan or the personal plan. Then these are the various differences between those two. Now, the major difference is this family safety mobile app. For instance, if you have a kid, you can set the Microsoft account for the kid in a way that the kid doesn't have access to some adult content, adult app, or stuff like that from Microsoft Store. So this is the major difference. Then we also have for businesses. Now for businesses, we have enterprise and normal business. So the normal business is for companies that's less than 300. A small startup, for instance, a small company, for instance, you just want your organization just like use Microsoft 365 services. You guys are less than 300 users. So this is the best. So now we have the business basic, we have the app for business, we have the business standard, and we have the business premium. So now each one of them have their own, pros and cons. Now for the app for business, for instance, I know some company that uses they use what they call the name again. They use this Google Workspace or some other platform for their emails. They don't need our own Exchange. They have their own email provider, but they want to have access to Word, Excel, Teams, and whatnot. So this is the kind of service they can use, the app for business, because they just want to have access to the apps only. They don't want access to like the Exchange services or SharePoint services. They only want the apps. So that's when you go for Microsoft app for business. Then if you want the business basic comes with Exchange, SharePoint, OneDrive. However, the business basic I think is about Exchange Online Plan 2, which is I think I said in the last class, is about just 50 gig worth of space for their Exchange Online. Business basic does not have advanced threat protection, Business app for business does not have advanced threat protection. Business standard does not have advanced threat for protection, but business premium has it. Business basic does not have desktop version. So if you just buy business basic, they'll not be able to install Office on their PC. But app for business, of course, is apps for business. Business standard has it, and business premium also has it. So these are the major differences between the various businesses. Remember, I said if the business is less than 300 staff, this is the thing you should. An IT admin, you go to a company, they're trying to move to Office 365, they're less than 300. You don't need to tell them to go and buy enterprise license, which is more expensive. You can just use this one for them. You can just advise them, oh, you can get this for so price. So these are the various options available for the business plan. uh Then for the security side also, there are some Microsoft acts as a controller for data. Business basic doesn't have that, but business standard has that. Then but the major difference is this ATP, advanced threat protection. So advanced threat protection is like the safe links, safe attachments, the quarantining options for messages, phishing. So phishing is when someone is trying to send you an email as another person. For instance, my company's domain name is, let me use a very common one. Let's see, textilas.com. So now somebody will now go and change the L in textilas to I, capital letter I, so it looks like L, and send you an email from that kind of domain. So you now will now get the email thinking that, it's someone from textilas. Meanwhile, it's not textilas. The person changed the L to I and bought that domain, and it's using it to fish or trying to send phishing emails to your staff. So that's what Microsoft is trying to tell you, that the business premium gives you, it's going to tell, like, going to tell you that no, this is not your company, this is a phishing attempt. So you can also do some testing phishing attempts with business premium license. But if you have business basic or business standard or app for business, you can't be able to do those phishing tests. I don't know if we've worked in companies where your company send you like a phishing test email or a scam email. Your own company send it to you, just to do it as a test. And if you fail the test, you have to go and take some certifications, or you have to go and take some more exams. So that's what an admin, things that you're going to like tell your company that, oh, we have business premium license. Can we try to, do some phishing emails to our users just to test them so that they can know what it feels like when a phishing email comes. So these are the things that Microsoft gives for the business premium. It also have this remote wipe company data from lost or stolen devices. I spoke about this last week. Yes, I said something about, if someone like lose their company's phone or their company's laptop, the admin can wipe it off. So the admin can only wipe it off if they have this license. So if they have the business basic license, there's nothing much the admin can do because they don't have that remote wipe company data option in their tenants. Then restrict the copying and saving of company information to unauthorized apps. Business basic doesn't have that. So these are the these are the pros and cons of all these. Like business basic is cheap, but business basic premium, you can see the price is like times 4 of business basic. So it depends on what your company wants. It depends on how your company interacts with the outside world. If it's an enclosed kind of space, or if your company will need more, um, your company need more advanced threat protection for the for your organization. So these are the various advantages of business premium license. And Microsoft subscription does not include VAT, which is a good thing. Then we have the enterprise. Now, I've just explained what the home is. Home is just for you and your family, or for you and yourself alone. We have two under home. That's the one for you and the one for your family plan. Then for business, we have about 4. We have business basic, we have business premium, we have app for business, we have business standard. So in the MS 900 exam, you can be asked that, let me give you like a sample question. You are working for an IT admin in an organization. You are trying to get the least or the cheapest subscription that is going to give apps to your users, Microsoft 365 apps to your users. You will see business basic there, you see app for business there, and you see all this, and you know your answer is app for business. Because for business, because for okay, you know business basic is the answer to that question, because business basic is the cheapest option. So these are the kind of tricky questions that you will be asked by in MS 900 exam. So moving on to enterprise now. So now you're working for a company, you're the IT admin working for a company that is more than 300 staff. You are going to tell them to like get an enterprise subscription. So now the app for enterprise is similar to the app for business, only that this one is more expensive and this one is for like enterprise and has some extra features. We have the E1 license, we have the E3 license, and we have the E5 license. What license do you guys have? E5 or E3? I think it's the E5 license, right? The developer's license, Joanne,
I think it's E5.
E5, right? Okay. So now
Yes.
you see, you know the price now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that's the price per month. This is
Eh?
the price per month, yes, for each user in the organization. So it depends on the need. It depends on your company's need. Um, that's what like you are going to check before you get those subscription. So, but as long as the company is above 300 users, we always advise the company to get an E1 license or an E3 license or an E5 license. I think an E1 license comes with 50 gig Exchange Online Plan 1, while the E5 and E3 come with Exchange Online Plan 2. But we can check the difference. Yes. So E1 comes with Plan 1, 50 gig. E3 comes with Plan 200 gig and Plan 200 gig. So that means this ones come with unlimited archiving, which means like once your 100 gig is full, Microsoft will keep giving you like extra space as a request for more through unlimited archiving. But this one, if your 50 gig finish, they only give you one extra 50 gig and that's all. So that means only 100 gig you're getting in total. But this one is going to give you like unlimited space. And also, I think if you want to do what we call litigation hold. So litigation hold is when you want to hold an email for like for up to 7 years. So for organizations that has things to do with like law or holding some important information, even if you leave the company, all your emails can never be deleted until 7 years, just in case they need a proof of something, or just in case they need to pull out some stuff. So you can't even delete your messages. That's what it's called litigation hold. But before you can apply litigation hold on any user, the user has to have like a plan 2 license. So either the E3 license or the E5 license. So these are the things you check as an IT admin that say, okay, let me do this for my users. Then Microsoft 365 bookings. E1 and App for Enterprise doesn't have bookings, but E3 and E5 has bookings. For analytics also, for advanced, for Power BI Pro, only E5 has that. So these are you just check the need of your company, check the need of what you want. Threat protection that we spoke about just now for business premium. E5 has the threat protection. E3 does not have threat protection. E1 does not have threat protection. So what does threat protection do? It detects and investigates advanced threats before the email even come to your inbox. That already check, is this thing a threat? Is this PDF? Are you sure it's not virus? That scanned it already through ATP scanning. That's checked all your messages before it comes to your inbox. So if it's like threats, if it has spam, or if it should be quarantined, it will now be sent to quarantine. Then an admin has to release that message. For instance, maybe I send you a message from my own company or from my Gmail, and it's like a PDF file, and Microsoft suspect that PDF has virus. and it goes to quarantine, and you now message me back like, sorry, I've not seen your email. And I'm like, no, I've sent you an email. So, and you now message your admin that, oh, this person is trying to send me an email, I didn't get the email. The admin will now first of all check the quarantine and say, oh, we can see the emails in quarantine. So it's now left for admin to either release it, or the admin can give you the user's right to release that email if they are sure that that PDF does not have virus. So because these things are automated, so if it's not a virus, you can always report to Microsoft that, see, don't block this kind of message again. It's not a virus. Then Microsoft now say, okay, they'll add it to the database that, oh, this message from Sarah is legit. It's not this thing. They'll now like, okay, they will add Sarah to the trusted list that any message from Sarah should go directly to your inbox. It should not go to quarantine or something else. So that's the major differences between app for enterprise, E1, E3, and E5. So it depends on your what your company wants. You can see this one is even cheaper, €6. Let me check the business. Business premium is €16. Business standard is €10. But E1 is €6, E3 is €19, E5 is €34. So it just depends on how many users are in your company, what things are your users going to do. You just draft it out. And licensing is not an easy thing, although it looks like, oh, this one is cheap, let's just go with the cheap one. There are so many things to it. You have to understand each of the following pros and cons Microsoft offers so that you can know. And I'm also going to send this link for us to also read through, because in the exam as well, we are going to be asked licensing questions like what license will you do tell an education person to use. So we also have the education licenses for schools. So for like university, for their students, like Covenant, like, I'm sure Covenant University does something like this, because my friend in Covenant University, when she was in school, she had at covenantuniversity.com or something. So you have for students, A1 is free for students. We have A3, we have A5. So the school can register for the education licenses and know what to get for their students. So everything again is different. The you can compare it here. Then we have for teachers, for faculty, and for staff. For teachers, I think they have all those whiteboard, all those things for helping them to teach better. For faculty, for staff, the A1 is also free for teachers as well. So the so that's the advantage of Microsoft. They try to include everybody. Okay, now see the difference between A1, A3, and A5 for students. For students, you can collaborate, use Microsoft Teams, use your OneNote, use your Sway. Then for A3, that's everything. And you can install Office desktop app. So for A1, you cannot install the desktop application. Everything will be online. But for this one, you can install the applications. And this one also have extra services like Power BI. This one doesn't have Power BI. So depending on what okay, now see the one for teachers. Oh, that's a lot. That's all the values in A1, and you can install desktop apps on 5 different computer or Mac per user. So for A1, you cannot install the application. If you go to your admin portal, or if you go to portal.office.com, or if you go to any of your office this thing, you'll see install office. One tiny orange screen will just say install office. So if you have like A1 license, or if you have business basic, you are not going to see that option. But for this one, you are going to see the for A1 also, you're not going to see that option. But if you're a teacher and your school give you the teacher license, you are going to be able to see that. We also have government. For those, I think government is. We also have government. They have their own Office 365 E1 and E3 and E5. So they have their own governmental stuff. So like for organizations in some countries where they don't want to share their data, I would say somewhere like China though, they can have access to these government plans, or any of these government organizations like, I don't know, I don't want to call the CIA, but like any of these governmental organizations, like the police, the navy, they have their own separate standard plan. and you can get it through the Office 365 E3, E5, and the E1 license. So again, similarly to all other E1 licenses, Office application is not included in the E1. It's included in E3 and E5, and E5 has some advanced threat protection. Then we also have what we call the frontline workers. Now, these frontline workers are people that like customer service people, connecting workforce, like your typists, receptionists, all those people that don't need much. They don't need much, much apps to use apart from the basic apps. So this one you can see is very cheap. We have €3, €6, and we have the €1 on. So this one is just for frontline workers, for people that don't really need much access to so many apps. They just need the basic apps just to get things done in the office, like their Word, their Excel, their PowerPoint, emailing, everything. So these are the kind of plans you advise them to get. So that's for the Office 365 plans. Then back to our PowerPoint slide. We have it's not what I wanted to show. We have what we call the cloud solution provider model. Now, who are these people? These are the people that will be like, okay, you don't want the job of, you don't want to employ IT admin, Abi. You want to do everything yourself. You need someone to help you. Maybe like you're a small business of 300 people. You don't want to employ somebody else to be doing your IT admin. You don't have that funding for that. So you can meet up with these cloud solution providers, and they will provide an expert that you can speak with that would help you get your licenses in place. So it's provided through a partner who can manage your own subscription licenses and settings, and they will provide support for you as well. So if you don't want to, let me mute. All right. So if you're looking for a solution provider, this is the best people to help. They are going to like help you get your licenses. They also provide support if you need support. They are going to take all these all you thinking with your brain, oh, should I get an E1? Should I get an E5? They're going to ask you the questions they need to ask you and tell you, okay, I think you should get an E1 license. I think you should get an E3 license. They are Microsoft partners as well. So, I mean, most of them are Microsoft partners. They have their own portal, their own partner portal. They will have access to your tenants. They will be able to create users for you, support you, able to advise you on the best license to get. They would even help you get the license. You just have to pay them. They will get the license. So they're like kind of like middlemen between you and Microsoft. That's if you don't want to do it directly yourself. So these are the various licenses we have. And let's open our admin portal to, I think I've shown us this the previous class, but it's not, there's no harm in showing us again. Let me go to the admin portal. The admin portal is where you get your licenses if you're not going through a CSP. So okay. So product and services, billing. So all those licenses we've discussed about, this is where you can get them. And I have nothing. Product is showing. Okay. E35 developer. I don't need it, but like these are the this is where you get those so you can also pay monthly or you can pay yearly depending on what your company wants. You can also get some add-ons for trial, sha. So this is where you come to get your products. This is where you know your own products. This is one I have, E3, E5 developer and Power Automate for free. This is where you get your subscription as well. Or I can see that 12 people out of 25 have licenses. Then 6 out of 1,000 have license. Out of 10,000 have license. That's why I say it's for enterprise, for people above 300. So the E category is enterprise. The B category, the business category, is for people that are less than 300. That's why you can have like up to 10,000 licenses here. And also, this is where you put your payments method. You put your, you get your invoices. Mine is empty because I don't have any invoice. I'm not the one paying for it. So this is where you can add payments method, add your debit card details or credit card details, depending on what you have. So Microsoft every month will just be removing the money if you are paying monthly or yearly. Cancel. I don't want to put my ear. Then the billing account as well. Billing notifications. Then so, yeah. So if you have if you have a CSP, that's someone that buy your license for you, the person is going to appear here once you discuss with them. The cloud service providers, they are going to apply here. They're going to appear here, sorry. So Microsoft 365 helps to optimize cost in a number of ways. It reduces total cost of risk. You can buy the license yourself or you can use someone else. It saves on automation and process improvements. Automatically billing can be, your work does not have to stop because you forgot to buy license or something. It's going to automatically bill you, it's automated. And this is where you purchase those services. And I think we all know where we can assign licenses. Like when you create a user, you know where to assign the licenses, and you know where to remove the licenses from. It's from the admin portal as well. So I think we'll move on to the next slide. Demo. So now we are going to move to support offerings for Microsoft 365. I think I spoke about this in overview the last time in our last class, but I'm going to speak about it again. So now we have various type of supports in Microsoft. We have the community-based supports. So community-based support is when you take advantage of the community-based support through the tech community. For instance, I love community-based support because it's somebody that has went through that issue before that you're talking to. So for instance, you try to create app on Power Apps and it's not working, your patch is not working. You can go to the Power App community and say, oh, this is my problem. And somebody else also, maybe me, if I see the notification, if I'm less busy, I'm like, oh, have you tried this? Have you tried this? Have you tried that? So that's what we call the community-based support. Then we also have the support assistance in the admin center, the bot, which I'm going to show also. Then we also have the web, email, and telephone support, which I'm going to show also. Then we also have the fast track. But this one is between your organization and Microsoft. You have dedicated Microsoft engineers like on ground to help you migrate your stuff through fast track from on-premises to Office 365. Your admin is just going to relax and be telling them, oh, this is what you should do, this is what you should do. Then we have the premium services, premium support. You have to pay for that. But that one is premium services offers on-site support. On-site support is like they can come to your organization like, oh, come and fix the issue themselves. That's one thing about premium support. And premium support is fast. They are like, unlike we that are collecting free support, premium support is like they are going to answer you immediately. And support through a Microsoft partner. Support through a Microsoft partner is what I just explained about the CSP. CSP, the person that is helping to buy your license, can also offer support like the overview support that is not, how would I put it, support that is not so advanced. They can give you those kind of support. So let me quickly show us how to raise a service request and how to go with the support assistance. So now there are many ways to go about it. You can go through this help and support here, or you can come to support here and go to new service request. So I'm going to be showing us the two of them, help and support. So for example, you have to start typing your problem. Can't install Office. Then you click on this. So the first thing it's going to do is support assistant is going to like load self-help solutions. So it's going to try to show you like, oh, have you tried this? Before you contact us, have you done this? And sometimes, most times, in fact, it doesn't work. I mean, it works. I mean, so it's going to give you like Microsoft 365 does not include Office app, or in case you are trying to install app and you don't have those other licenses. But if what the insight that they gave you is not enough, you now click on contact support. So now is where you describe your issue, put your phone number. I should not put my phone number there. So you put your phone number, describe your issue in details, and you now see the three methods. So if you have like a screenshot of the issue, like you Francis, when you are following that issue now, if probably maybe you've tried your best, you've reached out to community, you've reached out to people, nobody's answering you, and you're like, oh, since I have free support, let me just contact Microsoft support. That screenshot is sent in the group chat. You can just attach it here. Then there are three preferred contact method. If you don't like someone calling you, or maybe you know you're going to be very busy, you just pick on either email or chat. If you know you're not going to be like, on ground to chat with somebody, you can just pick phone or email. So depending on the kind of service you want, I don't know, there's no SLA for chat, but the SLA for phone is 16 minutes. So if I raise a support request right now in 16 minutes time, someone should call me on the phone. Like, hey, I can see that you cannot install Office. What's the problem? Or email, the response will be within 1 hour. Like, oh, okay, I can see that you have this sort of issue. I'm contacting you through email. But if you still want a call, you can also get a call. So you can also select your time zone so that your support requests don't go to, if you're in Nigeria, you don't want a support request to go to India, and someone from India and another time zone will now contact you maybe in the midnight or something. So these are the things you should consider when creating support. Then you can also view your service request and give ratings here: 5-star, 1-star, 3-star, 4-star, depending on how impressed you are with the services. So that's all about support. I use this here. It's also similar here as well. This is if you want to give feedback to Microsoft's portal. So if you click on this new service request, you can see that it's still the same thing that came up as well. So this is the same. The same view service requests. If you want to view the service request you have, I don't have any, so I haven't scored support yet. Hopefully I shouldn't. Then also if you want to check, yeah, I think we'll get to that. Let me just continue. Get to that. So in the exam, they can ask you a question like, what are the various type of support type we have in Microsoft 365? They can just give you things to confuse you, and you already know the answer. We know what community-based support is right now. We know support assistant, that one that tells you, oh, have you tried this? Have you tried that? Then we have this web, email, and telephone support, which I just showed us as well. We have the fast track, we have the premium support, and we have support through a Microsoft partner. For example, the CSP, the people that are going to help you buy your license if you don't want to buy your license yourself. Then we have what we call the service level agreements. Let me see if I can open this up. Okay. Let me copy this and use the other browser. Let me see if we can read this series. I don't want us to read it. It's going to be very long. But service level agreements is kind of like, for instance, I think there's a table for it. We have Microsoft is telling you that, oh, our product is 99.9% available. You can take advantage of all our services, 99.9% uptime average on each period for 1 month. It's really for services like Microsoft Teams and Stream, because you don't want to be on Teams call with your colleague and Microsoft Teams now crash. So they are promising 99.9%. So what happens if in a month it wasn't up to 99.9%? This is how you can get service credit back. You can always message, although there are TSs applied to it, but it's something you have to read on. TSs applies to it, but for the purpose of MS 900, they can ask you a question like monthly uptime percentage. If your monthly uptime percentage was less than 95%, how much service credits can you be able to receive? So you can get like 200% in the options, you can get like 300% in the options, you can get like 100% in the option, you can get like 50% in the option. So you know the answers.
Sorry.
Yeah.
What is service credit? What do you use it for?
Service credit is like giving you back your license. So like service credit, like how would I put it? It's like a credit to your system that when next you want to get a license, it's kind of like refunding you some part of your money, kind of. So maybe you are paying 16 euros every month for a particular license, and that month there is downtime less than 95%. There's uptime less than 95%, sorry. So you can message Microsoft that, see, you people promised us 99.9%. Can you call? But we had about 95%. What are you going to do about it? So they have a way of calculating it. So
Okay.
if you are paying 16 euros, they may refund like maybe 5 euros or something, depending on how they calculate it. But this is just for you to know that you can always ask for this service credit. But they will not give you the money like cash. It's going to be like service credit. So when next you want to, like, they want to bill you, it's going to be deducted. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yes, thank you.
Yeah. So that's how service credit works. So depending on how many percentage of downtime Microsoft have. So when I was a support engineer, we get this message a lot, like, hey, you guys promised us 99.9%, but on so day Teams was down. On this day, Teams was down. This day, Teams was down. Please give us our money back. So it's kind of things you receive if you're a support engineer. So this is what Microsoft is saying, that if you have less than so time, you can get this service credit back. But again, T and C's applies. And also there are some agreements also with Microsoft when you are about to buy, that covers unexpected and scheduled maintenance. So it all depends on your, how would I put it, the T and C's, the contracts. If you're using a CSP, the contracts you have with the CSP or with Microsoft themselves. That's what depends on. So, but these are the things, the overview of what you should understand for the exam, and the overview of not only exam, what you should understand also as an IT admin person. Then if you want to also track service health status, let me open up our portal. So service health, where is it? Not in settings, in report, no.
Just
Oh,
after report.
health. Yeah, health. Health, yeah. Okay. So now Microsoft is down. This is where you can see it. Or if you notice an issue, like this shouldn't be working like this, you can report the issue. And once many people report the issue at the same time, it appears here as an incident. There's no incident right now, which is very nice. That's good. But sometimes if you come to incidents, you see like Microsoft Teams is down, or Microsoft, sometimes the admin portal used to be down. When admin portal is down, different calls will be coming through. I can't. So like it's a very, very critical thing. So that's why like organizations like Microsoft, AWS, and most of these cloud service providers needs to like be on the needs to be on their toes, because many people depend on their services a lot. So thankfully there is no incident right now. Then advisories is something that is typically limited in scope or impact, like it's not that bad, it's just there. So these are the advisories that they have right now. So in case maybe you're experiencing this, you can see that, oh, okay, I'm not the only one experiencing this. Say admins updating UPN may cause extended delays for users accessing OneDrive. So what this one is trying to say is that, okay, I changed your user principal name from Francis at textilas.com to Francesca at textilas.com. So because I changed that name, they're saying that, oh, it may cause delays for you if you want to like go to your OneDrive, and they are working on it, as you can see. User impacts, all updates. So you'll be seeing the updates, root cause. Root cause means like why it is happening. A service change to improve cache efficiency, blah 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 blah. Does next update is March 4, next week Friday. So because this is not an incident, they are going to be like working on it, within their time. This one, admins may be unable to use the get exo mailbox. That's bad. in tenant across multiple geolocations. When is the next update? We are investigating a potential issue. We'll provide an update within 30 minutes. So let's see. 30 minutes. Let's see if they're going to update it true. So you check the estimated start time, the last updated. This one I say they're going to update in 30 minutes. They've not updated this since February 23rd. What's this day? Today is 26th. Okay, let's say it's weekend. Then these are the history of all the issues that they've had. You can see service restored, service restored, service restored, post incident report published, investigation suspended, probably been because the issue has been resolved. Reported issues, I haven't reported any issue here. But if I report an issue, this is where it's going to show as well. And it's also going to show the impacts and the rest. So this is where you check your service health. At least you can also know if if the 99.9% true, it's really 99.9%. So you can see that all these apps are healthy. Advisory, Exchange Online has like 2 advisories. Intune have 1 advisory. OneDrive for Business that we just check as 1 advisory. SharePoint as well. So this is where you just check for the health status and keep track of what we have. So I'm also going to talk about the roadmap. So what's the roadmap? Because so roadmap is where the Microsoft's how would I put it, updates the upcoming features. For instance, many people have requested a particular feature and they want Microsoft to like add this feature, like, oh, we've checked Google Workspace. Google Workspace have this so stuff. We don't have it in Microsoft. Why? Or maybe in our Microsoft, we want it to be like YouTube in a way that when the person is presenting, the person's video should be down by the right, and all those kind of asking questions. So this is where like you see, okay, this is the current updates. You can see in development, in rolling out and launch. So these are the three stages for roadmaps. You see it when it's in development, you see it when it's rolling out, and you see when it is launched. Preview, GA. So let me go back to our PowerPoint. I think I'm beginning to deviate from my slide. Then we also have what we call service. We'll go back to the roadmap. Service life cycle. Now, service life cycle is how long a service is going to last. I don't know if you know Windows 7. I don't know who is using Windows 7, but I am sure some people are using Windows 7. So, for instance, Microsoft will tell you like, oh, like at least 1 year, minimum is 12 months. At least 1 year that, oh, we're no more using Windows 7 again. We have Windows 8, Windows 10, Windows 11. Please stop using Windows 7. If you have any issue with your Windows 7, we'll not be able to help you. We are going to stop support for Windows 7. So that's what they call a service life cycle. Windows 11 is coming is already out. I don't know how many people using Windows 11 already. I'm still on 10. But like Windows 11 is already out. Things are changing. You need to move up. Some people are using Exchange Server 2003 or 2022. So those kind of people, Microsoft will be begging them, telling them, can you please move up, move to the latest listing. Then we have what we call the private preview, public preview, and general availability. So when a product might be released, or maybe Microsoft is trying to roll out a new, let's assume Teams is just new, and Microsoft is trying to roll it out like for testing. So they will start with private preview that, okay, let these people, our trusted clients, try out Microsoft Teams and let them tell us what they think about it. So after the pilot users and they like, oh, okay, the members of this private preview now like, oh, we love Teams. Teams is good. It's nice. It's better than Skype. Okay. Microsoft said, oh, everybody likes Teams. Let's move it to public. So now when they now move it to the public, this is the now move it. So you'll be seeing it on your tenant that this is a public preview. Microsoft's going to tell you on your admin center that, oh, this is do you want to turn it on? You cannot turn it on. Your users will be like, oh, we love these Teams. Can you tell Microsoft to keep it? We want Microsoft Teams to continue. Can you? So that's for public preview. Then after public preview, Microsoft like, yes, we've received good feedback. we've received many people like this Microsoft Teams application. Let's make it available for everybody and to be fully supported. So when it is in testing mode, that's like private preview or public preview, support may not be able to answer your questions because it's not yet available for the general public. So but once it becomes general available, then we all know that you can get support from it. End of support is what I just spoke about now. Older products can no longer be supported and reach end of support. For example, Office 2013. We have 2013. We have 2019 self. Then we have Office 365, which is the one we are doing, the subscription based. But if you remember those days, if you want to have Microsoft Word, you have to have all those activation key. You go to Yaba Left or you go to Computer Village for them to put activation key for you. You understand? So those are like the unsupported versions, 2013, Office 2013. Microsoft will be telling you please upgrade, please upgrade. And there won't be any support for it because they've already moved on. They've already added some good capabilities for the next round or for the next round of licenses. So before we go to knowledge check, I said I was going to go back to the roadmap and talk about the roadmap a bit. So we have in development, we have rolling out. Then if you notice, you can see this GA. Remember, GA means general availability. So they are saying that okay, this is going to be the preview. I don't know whether it's public or private. Will be available by March 2022. Then general availability will be available by June. So they are hoping by March, when people have used all this stuff and they are okay with it, it will now be in general availability by June. So that's how roadmap works. So you can always search for, maybe there's a feature you've always wanted. This one is in public preview. There's a feature you've always wanted and you've already requested for it. So you can also follow up here and check it out when it's launched, in development, rolling out, and launched. So we also have what we call user voice. So user voice is where you give feedback. For example, this person asked, enable users to reply to specific message in the conversation on desktop clients. Great news, we've added this. So before, you cannot reply, like if Francis and Evelyn now, for instance, you are chatting to each other, I'm also in the chat. I can't reply Evelyn directly because Microsoft does not have that feature. Just like in WhatsApp group chats, you can reply somebody's message. Before, Microsoft did not have that feature. But now, they've added it because of people like us, people like me and you, that went to put it there that, oh, see. And people will vote for it also. We are working, as you can see, this one, we are working on this. Enable usage of multiple team accounts at the same time. We are working on this. This one, great news. So these are the kind of community stuff we are considering this. We are considering this. We are working on this. So you get feedback in real time from Microsoft's response, official Microsoft response, when you so that's the power of community, the power of being engaged in community as well. So I think we've come to the end of today's class. So I am 100% sure, not 100% sure, 99.9% sure, SLA, that people understand how licensing work, the various type of support we have, how to raise service requests as an IT admin, how to know the kind of licenses to get for your organizations, if there are less than 300 users, if there are more than 300 users, how to also compare the different enterprise, education, or frontline licenses we have as well. Also, we know what roadmap is. We know how to get back our store credit, or to know what to anticipate when requesting for store credits from Microsoft. We know the 99.9% SLA, service level agreement, that we have with Microsoft. We also know that if you don't want to buy licenses from Microsoft, you can go through what we call the CSP, Cloud Service Provider. So that comes to the end of our class today for licensing. I hope you've enjoyed it, and we will go to the knowledge check right now. Okay, so number one, just type your answer in the Teams. Let's see how many of you is going to get it right. Oh, it just only two in the class today. Okay. So let's just type our answer for number 1 in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Include.
Oh, I didn't even talk about AIP.
Hey,
But I talked about ATP, Advanced Trade Protection. So
yes.
so which one of them do you think is going to have
The threat protection or the
trade protection, the Azure information protection, and those high-end stuff? So you would still have to like read up. I'm going to send a link of where you can compare and read up more on the licensing and different this thing, because these are the kind of questions they're going to ask you in the exam. Okay.
And last week you also said you sent us some links. You didn't send it.
Oh, my bad. Right now, in fact, as I'm talking to you, let me start sending those links.
Okay.
Okay. Seems you're the only one that answered for number 1. Number 2, you are correct.
Did I get
The
it?
answer is business premium. Yes.
Okay.
Because basic doesn't have that extra advanced stuff. Standard doesn't have it. It's only business premium that is the highest. So it's the answer. It's the one that has the advanced trade protection and the Azure AIP as well. So question number 2, with the CSP model, the cloud solution provider, who provide a subscription for you?
Hey, this one is confusing now.
It's confusing, right? Yeah.
Yes.
That's the aim. So
Okay, let me just answer if I don't get it.
okay. Yes, you're correct. It's provided by a CSP partner. And remember I said if you want directly from Microsoft, you buy directly yourself from the admin
Okay.
portal. So but if you want it, although it's in Microsoft 365, but they will buy it on your behalf and they will be the one in charge of it.
Okay.
But if you want to buy it directly from Microsoft, you now use the admin portal. Then question number 3, I talked about roadmap. So if you can still remember, what 3 phases does a feature have in the roadmap?
Okay. I know there should be retired. I know there should be rolling out. I don't know. Okay, let me just go with A.
Go with A. Okay.
Yes.
Let me just bring it out then. A is actually wrong.
Oh, okay.
This is it here. Roadmap. So we have the in development, we have the rolling out,
Rolling
we have
out
the
and
launch.
launched.
Yeah.
Okay.
So end of support is not under roadmap. Roadmap only shows you
What's going on?
what's going on. Yes, it doesn't show you the end life. So roadmap is like roadmap to a particular feature that is coming. So you know that, oh, okay, it's in development mode right now. They're working on it. It's rolling out. They're working on it and it's launched. But I think there's a website for checking of end of support. That should be Lifecycle.
Oh,
Let me
okay. Okay,
see if I
that's
can get the
life
link.
cycle roadmap. Okay.
Yeah. So there are 2 different. Give me a few seconds. Let me get it. So you can get the life cycle also through this link as well. Modern life cycle. Please go here to search for your product life cycle.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to stop recording now. We are done with the session. So, however, we're going to try to fix any issue from your tenants that you're facing, and also I'm going to send the link right after I stop recording. So I hope we enjoyed today's class. I know today's class was a bit short, because it's more of licensing. But next class will be with Joanne one, and I'm sure it's going to be interesting and much more demo. I know we all like demo, but sometimes we also have to do the business part of things. Even though it's not every time be clicking on here, clicking here, adding users, doing stuff. You need to also know the business side of things for advisory reasons.
Okay. Okay.